Hello, everybody. I'm Adriana Vasilache, the Odyssey Project Coordinator, and it's my great pleasure to introduce you the new initiative we have in the Odyssey Project. But before really telling you more about this, it is also my pleasure to introduce you our public relation manager, Valeria Kholodkova, who has actually introduced the Odyssey Masterminds. Welcome,
Hi,
Valeria.
thank you, Adriana. Hi, everybody.
So, of course, you might be wondering, Odyssey Masterminds? What are masterminds? And this is why you are here to learn more about this initiative. And I will use this time to ask Valeria because, yes, she knows. So please, Valeria, could you tell us more or actually explain what is a mastermind?
What a wonderful question, Adriana. So what actually is a mastermind? Mastermind is actually a group format where people, like-minded people with similar goals, similar values, similar backgrounds, unite together to move faster and more effectively to personal goals. I would also say that a mastermind group is actually a tool to achieve a goal. We can compare it to other formats that we all probably know very well, like education and trainings, coaching, psychological therapy, or psychotherapy, or whatever, and mentoring. And masterminds is something that is slightly above all these formats. It differs a lot, and it gives a different type of value and a different type of, I would say, involvement of people into the format. So this is something that we want to try with Odyssey Project members.
This sounds wonderful. And as our Odyssey Project participants and friends know, Odyssey Project is mainly about accelerated learning. It is about mentoring, or it has been so far about mentoring and networking. And it seems that with the addition of the masterminds, we are even more helping our Odyssey Project participants to accelerate their learning. Okay, so I heard a bit of what's a mastermind in general, but could you be more specific and tell us what actually happens in a typical mastermind?
Sure, I can. Mastermind group usually consists of about 4 to 6 people, plus the moderator, who basically facilitates and moderates the whole story. And by the whole story, I mean the preparation part, the actual mastermind session, and the follow-up part, something that goes after the session. And if this is a long-term group, if this is a 60 or 90 days group, a moderator is the link that unites all the sessions with the same participants. So what happens before the mastermind session? In Odyssey Masterminds, we are launching the open format, the termless, so to say, group, ongoing groups with different participants every time. We have so many members in Odyssey project, so we want to give everyone a chance to be a part of the mastermind session and mastermind group. So what happens before? We pick 5 people who will be present at the session, and I, as a moderator, talk to every person. This is the so-called mini strategical session, where we talk about the goal of the person, the actual values that he or she shares, his perspectives, and we formulate the request to the group. The request is the key aspect of every mastermind session. It is the request around which the whole story continues. In the mastermind session, each person that actively participates says his requests out loud. and the other members of the mastermind session share their personal experience, their observed experience, or some hypothetical experience on this particular request. This is not a training. This is not a mentoring session. This is sharing and giving experiences, values, and expertise that every peer of the group has. So it's a peer-to-peer communication. In the mastermind session of 5 participants, there are 5 rounds. So every person gives the request, gets feedback, and then takes up some actions that he or she would take in order to achieve the goal. And the request will help him or her to move faster to the goal. So 5 rounds, every person comes to the fore. It's the so-called hot seat format. So the person who actually vocals the request is on the hot seat. And after the whole session, after 5 rounds, which usually takes about 2 hours in total, or maybe 2.5 if we have more people involved, then there is a round up session. So wrap up, where people give their feelings, emotions, and the next steps they are going to take after this mastermind session to the next one. So this is how we make it. And I, as a moderator, am responsible for preparing the mastermind session. So people have their requests and they fit into the group and the experience is relevant to the request. Then I moderate the session as a whole. And finally, I give the follow-up after every session. So summing up the next steps that every participant is taking after the mastermind session.
Thank you. It's really a detailed description, and I see that there's a lot of involvement also from your part and also from the participants. And with this in mind, so since you mentioned that there are only 5 people in one group and there are many Odyssey participants in the project, what are the requirements to participate in an Odyssey Mastermind?
The requirements are quite simple. You just need to be a part of the Odyssey Project, the member of the project. And as you all probably know, we have many roles that you could play within the project. This could be a mentor role, a mentee role, a networking partner role, an ambassador role, or there's also the other role. You may be a part of the management team or all together. So basically what you need to be is like a participant, the member of the Odyssey Project. And doing this, becoming a member, is very, very simple. You just go to the Odyssey official webpage and you register.
Okay, that sounds simple. And from the previous question, I also heard that there is some time involvement and energy from the participants. And yes, there is accelerated learning, but what more exactly are the benefits of joining an Odyssey Mastermind?
Let me tell you a short story. When actually Mastermind appeared pretty much like a century ago. I think it's like 100 years old, like Toastmasters International. First time, Napoleon Hill, the famous writer, and I would say the investigator of the success, the phenomenon of success, wrote about masterminds in his book, The Law of Success, if I remember correctly. And it was in 1925, just 1 year after Toastmasters International were founded. So how he himself specified the principle, the main principle of mastermind. What he actually wrote was that the mastermind is 2 or more people that actively engaged in the pursuit of a definite purpose with a positive mental attitude, and they constitute an unbeatable force. In simple words, 2 minds are better than 1. So the main principle of Mastermind is to be faster, to get better results in achieving goals in the team of like-minded people. So it's a peer-to-peer communication when, as I've mentioned, you give the same amount and you take the same amount from other people. So you move faster, you share experience. This is the shared learning. And you, as also one pretty famous man, motivational speaker, Jim Rohn said, you become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So you're getting stronger, you're getting faster, you get more experience. You don't get advice and you don't get guidance, but you get support and expertise of the like-minded people. That's what masterminds are about. And this is like a driver that, like, I don't know, the fuel, the gasoline to the engine that you have inside you that will help you move faster and more effectively.
That's wonderful. And I already start to feel, and in addition to all the benefits that you have mentioned, I also feel the enjoyment of being around like-minded people. I think that's a wonderful experience. And if I would be in an Odyssey mastermind group, on what topics could I work? Or how should I select? Of course, it would be my topic that I want to work on, but what topics are available and how are you selecting that topic for a group?
Basically, any topic can fit into mastermind session. But as we speak about Odyssey Project participants, Odyssey is about mentoring, mentee, getting better at mentor-mentee relationship. We also are connected to Toastmasters International, where public speaking skills are honed together with leadership skills. So we are going to take topics or like goals that are oriented to public speaking, mentor-mentee relationship, networking, self-development, leadership, and also probably and most likely personal projects that move you towards your professional goals. And these topics relate to ongoing mastermind sessions that we are launching, that they are open and free to anyone inside the project. We can also launch more specific, closed 60 to 90 days groups with the fixed list of participants who will be meeting with each other every next mastermind session and working together as a team. And there, the topics could be different. But all in all, altogether, I would say that the topics that we take would be somehow related to personal development, mentor-mentee, networking, growth, professional projects, public speaking.
Thank you. I see it's anyway a wide range of topics to select from. And you mentioned these ongoing groups. How many meetings or how many meetings one person can attend to?
Since those groups are open to any interested parties, we decided to limit it to every second meeting. So one person can attend like every second meeting in a row. And we are holding meetings every 2 to 3 weeks. If we have more participants than we expected before, we may add more meetings, like, I don't know, every week, basically. I would say that I'm quite impressed that we launched the project about 2 to 3 days ago, and we already have pretty close to 100 registrations. So I would say this is a lot of people who are willing to test this new format. And I would say that probably right now it would be more difficult to attend every second meeting, the ongoing meeting. So a person probably will have to wait for the, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 meetings to participate in an open ongoing meeting. But we'll see. That actually depends on the level of involvement of the Odyssey Project participants, and maybe we'll launch more groups if there is interest.
That's amazing. That, I mean, already close to 100 people registered. It really shows that people understand that there are benefits in the mastermind groups. And well, people are registering. I see that. And I understood there's some preparation for a meeting. You mentioned a couple of ideas on how or what should people do before a meeting, but could you be more specific? So if I have registered, how should I prepare for the upcoming? And I got the answer that I mean, yes. How should I prepare for the upcoming meeting?
Well, first, I have to mention that if you have filled out the form, the registration form, you have seen the questions in the form. They are pretty much goal-oriented and very specific. And already in the form, you can start thinking what topic is more important to you. So you fill out the form, we get the form, we scan through the form, we see what are the most interesting topic for you specifically, and we fit you to the themed meeting. Say, you say, I'm interested in developing my public speaking skills. Imagine. And we have a group that is specifically dedicated to discussing public speaking goals, problems, tasks. Then I write to you and I ask you to have a session, online session with me that will take from 10 to 20 minutes, the strategic session, where I ask you questions about the goals, the real goals that you have. Is this something that you really want to talk about, this public speaking story? And then we define the request. So as a result of this mini strategic session, you have your task in front of you, the request, the answers to which will move you toward your goal. This is the so-called preparing stage. And then we hold this mastermind session where you formulate the request and you say it out loud to the group and you get the expertise and the experience. And that would take about, say, 2.5 hours from your time. And after that, we sum it all up and I send the review of the session to every participant. So basically, this is how the process goes. Your request or your goal or the steps towards your goal may change a little bit while we speak at the strategic session, but usually we are all adults. We all usually know what we want, or at least something that we want. So usually the goal doesn't change very, very much. And the first step is just to go to the registration form and fill it out concisely, precisely, and make your answers detailed.
Okay, so if I understand, I come with my idea of the goal, and during this strategic session, we are fine-tuning my goal with which I come to the meeting. So there's a bit of preparation before the meeting, and then there's the meeting of 2 hours, 2.5 hours, you mentioned. So altogether, if I meet, let's say, every other meeting, let's say once per month, would be like 3 to 4 hours of
Exactly.
my time.
Exactly. And also, you're not counting the time where would you implement the ideas and steps that you were
Yes.
giving during the mastermind session. So maybe you should also count this time, you know.
Okay. And I understand that I'm working, so there are like several like-minded people in the Mind Master group with me. Is there also some accountability mechanism in the group, or I would really not need that? I mean, personally, I have problems of I start something and then time goes by and my enthusiasm fades. So is there any help in this direction for the participants?
This is a very good question. Accountability is also one of the key elements of the mastermind groups, but it relates more to the 60 to 90 days closed groups, where we, as I've mentioned, we have the fixed list of people that who are involved, and they get to know each other. So there is a lot of networking involved as well. And there we all become like, like partners, like buddies to each other. And yeah, there is also work in between the sessions. So it's not like you're meeting, like you go to a class, you have your homework, and then you present your homework at the next class. No, we communicate in between the meetings. We have buddies, we share the successes, we share the failures that we encountered during the process of moving to the goal. So this is like, we become a team, basically, a team of partners, a team of friends, something like this. In the open format groups, the ongoing groups that we're launching in Odyssey Masterminds, the level of accountability is much lower, since at every meeting we have new people. And I would say that accountability, there is an accountability in terms of rules and regulations as well. That's a bit of a different story. But we also are launching the Telegram channel, the Telegram group, I would say, even group is, I think, better, where we add the people, all people who registered to Odyssey Masterminds, and there we may share, and there we may ask questions, and we may ask for support. That would be in less quantity, I would say, less amount than in the closed groups, but some level of accountability will be there supported as well. Yeah.
Okay, that's very good that about, I mean, the sharing part, because when people are sharing some, you take the time to think what you are sharing, and also the others, while reading what you are sharing, get some more insights and very useful examples of experience. And well, I understood that for registration, so as an Odyssey participant, I register to the form that I received. Is there anything else?
Well, I mentioned some words about rules and regulations. And we have our rules, since the number of seats is limited at every session. A person should be responsible, and if he signed up for the mastermind, he or she should come, and he should invest his time, and he should not be distracted by any other activities, say driving, or playing with dogs, or talking to kids or friends. So the full concentration is the key, because we really need to talk, to feel each other at the session. And probably that's the most, well, it's not the most difficult part, of course not, but this is something that you should consider before you join the session. So you should be fully concentrated on the session. Nothing specific, I guess, not that I can think of right now. No more difficulties, no more additional stuff. No, you just register and you wait till we get in touch with you.
Thank you. I mean, it really makes sense. If you want to be in a mastermind group with your goal and you want to work of it, you want to be there 100% and also respect the other people's time and implication in the project. And you mentioned the mastermind, this ongoing mastermind group, so, and that it's happening at 2-3 weeks. So how many groups will be? Is
Well,
this one
every
ongoing?
meet, as I've said before, at almost every meeting we'll have new participants. They will be coming and going. So I would say that every mastermind session in the open format is the new group. People will change and people will circulate, and we may call every session a new group. As for the closed groups, the groups will be combined in a different ways, united by specific values, specific goals, specific background, specific profession, maybe, depending on the requests from the people. So I, as a moderator, my task as a moderator, to find the right people and to fit them into the right group, because people is what actually we make mastermind groups. There's no mastermind group without the people, and compiling the perfect group with the like-minded people is the main task of the moderator. But that refers to the closed 60 to 90 days groups, 2-3 months. How many groups there will be till say the end of this year? Well, if we just make simple calculations, how many months we have left? There's going to be probably 15, 16 sessions. And if we see there's a lot of interest, we may extend it like to 2025. We'll see if I'm available as well. So I'll be happy to conduct even more mastermind sessions.
Okay, and maybe just for my understanding, though, the current registration form is for the upcoming meeting. So there is a registration for each meeting, and now we have the registration for this upcoming meeting, correct?
We have opened registrations for all year round. I mean, like people who register now, and as I've mentioned, we have a lot of registrations, and many people want to take part in the demo meeting as active participants, but we have to limit the number of active participants to 5, and we have already received 40 applications for being an active participant, so we'll have to well, that's what we have to do. We'll have to we'll choose people. So the other registrations will just be shifted to the next meetings. That's how it's going to work. So if you register now and you don't get a chance to be an active participant at the first demonstrational meeting, then you have a chance to take an active part in the second meeting, in the third meeting, in the fourth meeting, and so on and so forth.
Okay. It sounds clear to me now, and maybe one more question is, when can I start?
Well, you can start right now. You go on the web page that we have already opened. You fill in the form, the Odyssey Mastermind form, and the upcoming demonstrational meeting where you can either be an active participant or an observer to watch the whole thing, the process, and see if you like it and you want to continue as an active one the next round. It's going to be on April 25, and it's pretty soon. So I will be happy to see you there.
Wonderful. I'm looking forward to April 25th. And thank you very much, Valeria, for the detailed presentation of the Mastermind groups, and also, and clearly not the least, for organizing this very new addition to the Odyssey project. I'm sure it will be very useful to our Odyssey project participants. And I don't know what to say besides thank you.
I also want to thank you for giving me this chance to open this new project inside the project, and I really do look forward to making it a really successful one, a great addition to what Odyssey already has to offer to all its members.
Thank you.